Welcome back to this video lecture on childhood developmental stages. In the words of Frank, growth is regarded as multiplication of cells, as growth in height and weight, while development refers to the changes in organism as a whole. Normally, we used to take both growth as well as development as having the same meaning. Frank says development is not limited to growing larger. Instead, it consists of progressive series of changes towards the goal of maturity. Development results in new characteristics and new abilities on the part of the individual. What are the principles of human development? It is a continuous process which follows a uniform pattern. At all stages, the responses are general before they become specific. It proceeds from head to toe, that is, human development takes place in a definite direction. Development occurs in a sequence, first motor, then adaptive, and social development. Development moves from whole to parts and parts to the whole. Human development occurs at different paces during different stages. Each individual has his own unique pattern of development. What is cognitive development? Cognitive means related to head. As the brain is fully developed, there is a rapid growth in intellectual activities, language skills, thinking, reasoning, concepts, analysis and synthesis, etc. etc. According to Piaget, cognitive development can be divided into four stages. The first stage will be sensory motor stage, according to him, that is 0 to 2 years. It has six substages. Stage of reflex actions, 0 to 1 month. Example, sucking. Second one, stage of primary circular responses, that is 1 to 4 months. Reflex actions change to more coordinated ones. Example, turning head towards a familiar face. So the third stage here in the sensory motor stage of secondary circular responses, that is from 4 to 6 months. Tactile activities increases, that is a touch, sense of touch. Tactile activities increases and loves to do, the child loves to do activities which give him joy. Example, getting hold of favorite toy. Then there is a stage of coordination of secondary schemata, that is from 8 to 12 months. What does this mean? Imitation stage. Imitation stage starts and shows organizational patterns of behaviors. Example, sitting with the family members during eating time. Then stage of tertiary circular responses, that is 12 to 18 months. Now the child learns by trial and error. Then there is another stage, sixth stage of discovery of new means through mental combination. That is from 18 to 24 months. Child acknowledges the existence of things, whether present or absent at that moment. Example, child understands his father going out of house as he understands that he will come back after some time. The second stage Piaget gives, is pre-operational stage, that is from 2 to 7 years. It has two sub-stages. Pre-conceptual period, that is from 2 to 4 years. The child learns by imitation, for example, reciting a poem by following the teacher. He perceives objects as living. At this stage, he even talks to his toys. At this stage, he is adamant and feels his ideas are always right. Then another substage, intuitive period, that is from 4 to 7 years. At this stage, language development takes place. He starts thinking logically. A child can make out what is right or wrong. Then there is a third stage Piaget gives, that is stage of concrete operation, 7 to 12 years. Child becomes more practical and realistic. He is out of his dream and fantasy world. He develops a problem solving capabilities. Example, when a child tries to solve sums in mathematics, he exhibits this concrete operation stage. Then the fourth stage Piaget gives, that is a stage of formal operations. It is from 12 years and above. Child's mental faculties are developed and mature. His thought process is sequenced and learns to utilize his experiences, but these depend on his intelligence and education. It differs from one person to another person. That is second, emotional development. The emotional development of the child deals with the emotions. It is also one of the important aspects of personality development. Etymologically, the word emotion means to stir up or to excite. Emotion can be understood as an agitated or excited state of mind and body. Emotion is a complex affective experience that involves psychological changes and can be expressed overtly in characteristic behavioral patterns. Emotional experiences are usually associated with some innate instincts and biological drives. An emotion may be aroused under the influence of instinctive excitement. Emotions are also the product of the perceptions. Perceptions of a proper stimulus or object of stimulus are needed to start an emotional experience. The core of emotion is feeling, a sense of response aroused in the heart. Both feeling and emotions are affective experiences. Emotions also bring physiological changes. Some of the changes which express themselves as overt behavior are easily observable. For example, reddened eyes, flushed cheeks, beating of the heart, choke in the voice. Studies of children's emotional development have shown that the emotional development is due to both maturation and learning. The emotions of young children differ markedly from those of adolescents and adults. Emotional development is characterized significantly by the strong individual variations. The general characteristics of children's emotional development can be seen like this. Children's emotions are brief. Typically, the young child's emotions last only a few minutes and end very abruptly. Children's emotions are intense. The young child's emotional outbursts are characterized by an intensity not often observed in an adult. His or her emotional response lacks gradations of intensity. Children's emotions are transitory, changing. The young child's rapid shift from laughter to fears, from anger to smile, is many a time incomprehensible. Children's emotions appear frequently. Children display their emotions more frequently than adults. As the child grows, he or she learns to adjust to emotions, arousing situations, and to react to them in more acceptable ways. So the child is able to adjust to emotion arousing situations and reacts in an acceptable manner. The role of schools and especially of teachers in bringing balance to emotional development of children deserves special mention. Emotional development depends upon physical development. Therefore, care is to be taken for proper physical development of children. Adequate provisions were to be made for various co-curricular activities for full expression and outlet of emotional energies. The children should get a desired love and attention from teachers. Then let us speak something about social development of children. Social development is an important aspect of a child's healthy growth and development. Children need to learn to interact with their peers and adults in a socially acceptable manner. Social development refers to the development of social skills and emotional maturity that are needed to maintain relationships and relate to others. The process of development of such qualities which brings a reasonable change in his or her social behavior is referred to as social development. Sometimes it is also called as socialization of the child. Social development refers to the process by which an individual acquires the necessary knowledge, skills, and disposition that make him or her an acceptable member of his own group. It develops a group loyalty and encourages mutual dependence, cooperation, and cohesiveness. It is a process which also helps an individual to behave in accordance with the social traditions and norms and thus helps him or her to adjust in a given social environment. Social development refers to the process by which an individual acquires the necessary knowledge, skills, and disposition that make him an acceptable member of his own group. The child makes a remarkable gains in the area of social development during the school years. The child during this phase makes a transition marked by moving from dependence on parents or family members to that of showing inclination towards the peer group members. The remarkable change that one can see in the child is the way he or she interacts and communicates with others. Many different factors affect social development during this phase that includes personal and environmental factors. Personal factors like bodily structure and health, intelligence, emotional development play a very significant role in social development. Similarly, environmental factors like family atmosphere of the child, school atmosphere, peer group relationship, and influences community and neighborhood. The teacher in particular and the schools in general have a very important role to play in the social development of the child. The personality of the teacher and his her behavior influences the child's personality development in relation to the social development. Teacher therefore plays a significant role in teaching children about good manners, discipline, and socially accepted behavioral patterns. School is not a place where children learn reading, writing, and arithmetic. It is also a place where they learn to get along with others and develop social skills. The school plays an important role in developing social skills through organizing debates, games, and other socially relevant co curricular activities. Thank you very much, dear friends. Let us move on to the next video lecture in this topic. God bless you abundantly.